Hi, this I'm making this video for Introduction to Psychology. So let's start. Okay, so what do we mean by psychology? So when I look at someone and think, what is that person thinking? It's like psychology. I think what is it like? I'm studying his behavior and mental processes. But let me tell you, that's not all. Psychology is broad. It includes thoughts, emotions, perception, reasoning, memories, biological activities. Yes, biological activities. What helps us get through the day? Like what's my stress booster? That's like psychology. That can tell a person a lot about me. Subfields. Okay, sorry. So when I study psychology, I can be a psychologist, but what do I think? Oh, where can I work? So I can work in institutions, I can have my own clinics, I can work in hospitals, university, I can be a professor, whatever I want. It's not limited. It's like there are many opportunities for us. Okay. So this field is mainly women dominated. So it's like mainly women and white dominated. They're like the minorities like Asians and are like barely represented here. Why? Because firstly, we are not encouraged to do this because we see that our people are not there in this field, so it's not for us. We won't prosper or something like that. Okay. Now there are kind of degrees you can get. One is PhD, that you get when you do a research and write a thesis, and it has to be original. I tell you, yeah, original thesis and research. Then you get a PhD, or you can get a PsyD, which is like a psychology degree, where you focus on the treatment of psychological disorders. Okay. Now I want to clear out something. What is a psychiatrist and psychologist? Psychiatrist has a medical degree. Ooh, medical degree. Whereas psychologists, they don't have a medical degree. So psychiatrists can give you like medicines, but psychologists will just give you advice and another way to tackle the problem that you have. So that's a good way. Like I'm taking okay, sorry, I shouldn't say this. Okay, so why learn psychology? I'm learning psychology because I need it for med school, and maybe it will help me. Why? How can psychology help me? Because it helps you get good analytical skills, trains you for critical thinking. Like, why is this person doing this? Oh my god, he's gonna do this now. Because it can just like help you interpret what the person wants from you and what like the reaction and everything. Okay, so let's come to the subplants in psychology. Like, what kinds of psychology are there? So first we come to behavioral genetics. Behavior determined by genetics. That's simple? Yeah. Let's go to clinical psychology. We go to a clinic. What do? First we go, the person studies us, okay, like, and you give like, and then you have this diagnosis. Okay, like, what's your problem? Okay, get this test done and I'll give you a treatment. So it's the same thing. Studies you, diagnoses your problem, and gives you the treatment for it. Okay, now comes to cognitive psychology. Cognitive is like higher mental process of thinking. So it's like something that children don't have it and adults have it, like memory, experience, and reasoning and judgment and all those stuff that adults do. Coming to counseling psychology, where it's like mostly found in educational, social, career adjustment problems. Okay. Cross-cultural psychology. Cross-cultural. So, people think differently in different cultures. Like, you wear a sari in India, you wear dresses in US, like major I'm talking about, like of course everyone wears dresses, but like just thinking, just take it that way. How culture determines what you think. So suppose I'm doing cross-cultural psychology. I'm thinking how I behave differently in India and how I behave differently in the US. Okay, now let's coming to the next one, developmental psychology. How I study, like how I change from conception to death. So development, what is development? Is change. So change from birth to death. That's simple. Coming to educational psychology, like education psychology, I study how things work. Like, is this program helping the children learn better or not? Next one. Okay, then environmental psychology, how our environment determines our psychology. Suppose I live in the cold climate, and if I go to the warm climate, I feel really warm, you know. And suppose if I move from India to US, I'm living in New England, so it's that thingy. I'll wear a lot of layers because I know I'm gonna feel cold. That's like how our psychology means the environment has affected me. Coming to evolutionary psychology, oh, my favorite, bio. So evolutionary is bio and genetics. So how can we correlate all this? Behavior influenced by genetic inheritance. Evolution, bio, genetics. Behavior influenced by our genetic inheritance. Then comes to forensic psychology. Wow, CID. Imagine I am working for this law firm, so I can question the witness and say how much of his memory is right, because our emotions affect our memory. Like, supposedly I hate this person over here, and he's killed someone, but not that brutally. Maybe he just injured someone and that person got killed, and someone else got, I never saw that someone else came and killed him. I might take a stand against him, like firmly believe, although he didn't do it, that he did it. Okay, so next come to health psychology. How health determines our mental state. Like, how my health is determined by the stress I take and my thinking. Supposedly I'm a very gloomy person, of course I'm going to stay like sad, and I'm not feeling well and have a headache and stuff like that. Okay, coming to industrial organizational psychology. So what you see in industrial psychology, yeah. Supposedly I'm a manager and I want to see how an effective way how my colleagues can work together, to carry out a plan so it's successful. So I can just that's what I'll study. Like, this industrial psychology will study. Psychologist, sorry. Okay, then we comes to program evaluations. Most of us have given those, like where in universities you get the survey to fill out, so you can judge how your teacher is doing. Like, is his teaching method good or not? Then comes to school psychology, where school psychology is where we can help people in, not people, of course, school students with their academics or emotional problems. Like, academics, it's like, oh my god, am I doing horrible in studies? How am I supposed to cope up with it? I can help you that. Like, maybe you have so much pressure from your parents, they're not understanding. So it's like how to cope up with academics. And emotional, maybe you had a breakup with your boyfriend that's affecting you like in a grave way. So I can help you with that if I'm a social psychologist. School psychologist. Then comes to social psychology. Social, what do you mean by social? It's like interaction with people. So by social psychology is the study of how interacting with people affects your thinking. Then comes to sports psychology. Sports psychology is like study of athletic activities and exercise. Like, if I'm a sports psychologist, I can tell you what is the effective way for you to do well in this game that you're playing.